dressed the world in black that day, and history just walked away. I lay in silence, lost in dreams, while decades passed like distant streams. I woke to find
Good evening. My name is Edward Miles. I am 84 years old, and I have stood in silence for 60 long years. Tonight, I speak not to win applause or awards, but because there are memories that deserve to be spoken out loud before they disappear with the last breath of those who carry them. I was born in 1939 in Toledo, Ohio, into a world rebuilding itself after the Great Depression. My father worked with his hands, a carpenter who could shape beauty from broken wood, and my mother taught children how to read and write, hoping they'd do better than we did. We lived simply. No television. No telephone. Just books, prayers, and the sound of hammers and chalk. I remember my father once telling me, "Son, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything." That stayed with me. Maybe that's why, even as a boy, I was drawn to discipline. I didn't play much. I watched. I listened. I studied the way people moved, the way soldiers stood tall, the way honor looked on a man's face. I joined the army straight out of high school, not because I had nowhere else to go, but because I wanted to matter. I wanted to protect something. I wanted to be part of something that stood firm when the world shook. In basic training, I was always the one who followed orders to the letter, the one who stayed quiet but never looked away. That's probably what got me noticed. After serving overseas, I was offered a position with the United States Secret Service. It felt unreal, an ordinary boy from a quiet house now entrusted with guarding the most powerful man in the country. Then came the day I'll never forget. I was assigned to the President of the United States, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. From the very first moment I saw him, I knew I wasn't just protecting a man. I was protecting a movement, a dream. He wasn't like other politicians. He didn't speak to the people, he spoke with them. His words lifted you, his smile reassured you, and his presence, it filled the room like sunlight through stained glass. There was something in his eyes, a mix of conviction and compassion, youth and wisdom. He made you believe that the country wasn't just a place, it was a promise. And when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," I felt it in my bones. I was ready to give my life for that country, for him. And as it turns out, I almost did. November 2020, 1963, Dallas, Texas. It was a warm day. The skies were clear, the crowd was loud, and the president was radiant. Jackie sat beside him, elegant and composed. I was in the follow-up car, scanning rooftops, watching the hands of strangers, my senses alive. Secret Service agents are trained to think about every possibility. But nothing prepares you for the sound of a gunshot aimed at a man you're sworn to protect. The first shot rang out sharp, unnatural. My body reacted before my mind did. I shouted for everyone to get down. I saw the president lean forward. Panic rippled through the crowd. I spotted movement from the Texas schoolbook depository window. A second shot. I didn't think I ran. I left the car. I sprinted toward him. My only thought was to get to him, to cover him, to shield his body with mine. Just as I neared the car, the third shot hit me. A violent punch to the chest. My ribs cracked. My breath vanished. I collapsed but kept crawling. Another shot tore through me. I remember reaching for the door. Then everything went black. I was 24 years old. That day, history marked me with lead and silence. I was taken to Parkland Hospital, barely alive. My heart stopped twice. My lungs filled with blood. The doctors told my mother, "He may not wake up. Not now. Not ever." but she refused to let go. For 20 years, 20 long years, I was in a coma. My body still, my mind locked away. My mother would sit beside me every day, reading me the news, playing me the old records I used to love, talking to me as if I could hear. Maybe I could. I don't know. But one day, in 1983, I opened my eyes. I was 44 years old, waking up into a world I didn't recognize. The Berlin Wall still stood. Reagan was president. Phones had buttons now. The country had changed. And so had I. I had no strength in my legs. My voice was barely a whisper. My body was broken, and my soul felt lost. The first thing I asked with dry lips and shaking breath was, "What about the president?" The nurse looked at me and said nothing. I knew then. I hadn't saved him. I had failed. In the months that followed, I learned to speak again, to walk again. Physical therapy tore me apart piece by piece, but I didn't care. I had no wife, no children, no medals, only regret, and the pair of scars on my chest that burned whenever I thought too deeply. The world had moved on. People had grown cynical. They talked of conspiracies, secrets, betrayals, but no one talked about the dream. No one talked about the light that Kennedy brought with him. It was as if he'd become a symbol, something cold and distant, instead of the warm, living man who made you believe in the impossible. I couldn't stand it. So, I chose silence. For years, I disappeared into quiet towns. I did odd jobs. I watched the country from a distance, proud and heartbroken. Every year on November 2020, I would light a candle and sit in the dark, alone, remembering the sound of the crowd, the shimmer of Jackie's dress, the sharp crack of betrayal. Then one day, a young nurse at the VA hospital brought me something unexpected, a violin. "Try it," she said. "You've been silent too long." I laughed at first. My hands shook. My fingers were stiff. But I tried, and over time, I learned to let the strings speak for me. I couldn't say what I felt, but when I played, I could finally breathe again. And so, after all these years, I decided to stop hiding. I decided to tell the story, not because I want sympathy, not because I want recognition, but because I want people to remember that there was once a time when we believed in something beautiful, that we had a leader who made us feel seen, heard, and hopeful, that on a sunny November day, we lost more than a man, we lost a future. I still carry him. In every breath, in every scar, in every note I play. And tonight, I will not speak much more. I will let the violin say what I cannot. I never got to say goodbye to him. I never got to tell him I was sorry. But maybe, just maybe, if I play with enough heart, he'll hear me. And maybe, in some corner of the universe, he'll know that I tried, that I never stopped remembering, that I never let go, and that, even now, after all this time, I still believe in what he stood for. I survived, but the dream did not. And tonight, I play for the dream.
stood behind you in the sun, a quiet shadow holding none. You waved to crowds with fearless grace, while I watched every hidden face. Then came the sound so sharp, so near, and all my training turned to fear. I ran to reach, to shield your side, but time was cruel, and so was pride. 2 bullets burned into my chest, but I never laid your dream to rest. The world moved on, I stayed behind, a ghost of duty frozen in time. I never got to say goodbye, I never saw the morning sky. Without your voice, without your flame, the man who taught me why we came. And though you fell beneath the light, your words still echo through the night. I carry you with every cry, but I never got to say goodbye. Dressed the world in black that day, and history just walked away. I lay in silence, lost in dreams, while decades passed like distant streams. I woke to find your face in stone, a flag, a quote, a world unknown. But none of that could make it right. You vanished in the morning light. The oath I took still haunts my sleep, a vow I broke, I swore to keep. I couldn't change the course of fate, but I remember I still wait. I never got to say goodbye, to speak my truth or even cry. I saw the light fade from your eyes, then close my own beneath the skies. But I am here, I found my breath, to honor love, to honor death. Your voice lives on though mine ran dry. Still I never got to say goodbye. And now I play with trembling hands, a song for what still understands. This violin, these broken strings, they hold the pain a silence brings. If you can hear me where you sleep, know I have climbed from shadows deep. This melody, these final lines, they're all I have to cross the time. I never got